Yes.
This is live.
Mm-hmm.
Your Mom's Basement. How you guys doing tonight?
Great.
It's the interactive comic book club that you need in your life. I can't see anybody, so I'm just trusting that Ian said that we're live, so that's what we're going to do. We're live and because Ian says so. Oh, there it is. Okay, the Twitch theme. I'm going to get that really quickly. There we go. All right, so there it is. Oh, yeah, I see what Ian did. I want to put my head back a little bit so it's not just my forehead. This looks great.
I know, I'm looking right now. I'm trying to look.
There it is. Huzzah. Anyways, so while we're setting up and we're waiting for everyone to get into the chat, Interactive Comic Book Club, that is Your Mom's Basement. Basically, it's a live internet show. What is Savanna saying? What's going on?
Gaming doesn't have to be like this.
Who is that?
We're going to wait until we mute everything.
No. I'm trying to see our Twitch channel so I can see what Ian's been doing, but every time I start something, Twitch is like ads for days. So I don't know if you guys can hear them or if I can only hear that. I'm just like, ah! Panicking. I'm just really panicky because I'm just feeling kind of panicky right now.
I know.
Okay. Hey, your hair looks great.
I'm not even remotely high. Let's start with that.
Well, you should
God.
be, so let's start with that.
That's a big deal.
Right. Well, you know, it's early, and I'm sure things are going to change soon. So. Yeah.
But
Let
Ian,
everyone know
this looks fucking so cool, by the way.
Does it?
This looks good. I like it. Yeah.
Guys, we have evolved.
I'm into it.
We have evolved.
Yeah.
I basically like the fact that all three of our frames tonight is just us and our hair in a fight. Looks like we're having a hair off right now.
Hair off. I know, that's because we all have magnificent hair, which is just because your mom's face hair show.
I know.
Your mom's beauty tutorials.
We all have fabulous hair. Kirk is getting there.
Thank you.
You're about to
know,
rival me.
I'm really, really stoked. She started like, Ian, your hair looks so good. Come on, it's just beautiful.
Thank you. It's so long. It's almost down to my butt. Look how long this is.
I like the fact that every show now we just basically open up, talk about comic books. Before we talk about comic books, we're like, by the way, your hair looks amazing tonight.
We tell each other how pretty we are.
Pretty much.
Equally, just to make sure that we're all feeling as good as we feel each other deserves to feel.
I feel great. I'm glad you guys feel great.
Pretty.
So basically, I'm going to look at the chat. I'm going to tell everyone what's going on, what the fuck is up. All right, guys, so Your Mom's Basement. It's an interactive comic book club. Basically, we get together on Monday nights, 8 o'clock-ish, closer to 8:30, but try to be here by 8. And the first half of the show is talking about the weekly comics from New Comic Book Day. And then the second half of the show, we have a main title that we highlight. It was my fault this week. I should have told everybody what the book was, and we didn't figure it out until last night. So tonight we're going to talk about Aquaman, the DC Universe Rebirth first arc. I think everyone's going to be a little bit surprised about what we have to say. Other things in the show tonight, we are going to talk about Joss Whedon on the Batgirl movie. Ian and I and Savanna are all going to freak out and let you know what the deal is with the new X-Men Prime #1 issue.
And
which
Inhumans.
we've been all eagerly awaiting. What's that?
And Inhumans Prime.
And Inhumans. I feel like everything is like the X-Men and the Inhumans.
That's how it's always been, and I feel that's how it kind of should be, personally.
Yeah.
I really want it to go back to that. The Inhumans are too weird, unfortunately.
So, and the other cool part about the show is that we have a live chat. So the chat is a huge part of the show. You guys are a huge part of the show. So when you hop into the chat and you get involved in the conversation, we pull you guys out of the chat and into the show, and you guys become talking points in the conversations tonight, which is very, very important because sometimes the show would totally stall if you just left it to our devices and we get really scared and just kind of like this and we don't know what to do at some point. So I just want to say hello to the chat really quickly. We got Samurai Ox Berserk Ox. Apparently that's his new name on Twitch now. He's one of our moderators. Say hello tonight. We have Comic Quest, who's new to the show. Thank you for finding us. You found us also in the Discord chat. Guys, go join the Discord chat. Lance is in tonight. Venable Touch. Who else do we have? Nightbot. Ooh, I like the renamed it Nightbot.
All about that.
JMW 1388. Guys, this is awesome. I'm sorry if you came here looking for video games. This was way cooler if we got comic books. Like I said, also, when the show is not on the air, you go to the Discord conversation chat room thing. I think we're almost 60 people strong now in it, and adding more people every day. And that chat's going 24/7 with moderators and super awesome people of all levels. You can be a total comics noob, or you can be like completely knowledgeable and want to have conversations with people in the chat. Everyone's welcome. Get in there. It's fucking awesome. So anyways,
I'm super stoked Ronan is back too, by the way.
Me
What is
too.
that?
I'm super back. Ronan is back. Super stoked.
Yeah, we need your Ronan.
Need him.
God,
He's
I mean,
necessary.
I need him. He's like my Jiminy Cricket. He's like my voice of reason. He centers me.
Exactly. Oh, that is such a great way to describe him.
Yeah.
I'm not high. I'm getting there now. We'll be good in a second. I'll be
Be
functioning.
there in a second.
Be there.
Oh, and also there'll be minor WonderCon chat talk later too. I went to WonderCon.
Minor?
It was really
I
fun.
can't wait to hear all about it. You gotta tell me all the things.
It was cool. I'll let you guys know. I picked up some stuff. I tried something new this year. Usually I go to cons and just like I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I kind of really try to challenge myself to pick up things I normally wouldn't this weekend. So that's pretty cool. And dude, I love the fact that like you're essentially the Dave Chappelle Prince smoke screen thing going on, Savanna. It's just like a fog machine when you do your
Is there
thing.
any other way though?
It's like it's all good.
I'll
All
try
right.
to point it down. I'm sorry.
So I've done enough intro. I've let enough people get in the room tonight. Guys, how was your week? Producer Ian, say hello.
Hi. My week was good. My weekend was calm and relaxing, which is how I like it. I'd had some weekends that were pretty rough, so it's nice to have a couple weekends where it's just like me just laying about.
Laying about.
I like that. I like that. I like that you're just laying about. Savanna, how was your week?
My week was good. Super busy. I went to get my official weightlifting coaching license this weekend.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that was what I was doing all weekend. I was miserable because it was fucking so long. All day. Like 9 to 5. Fuck that. I don't do anything from 9 to 5, A. And B, I can't just, like, it's like not just sitting here, like, lifting for 8 hours. It was just hard and it was long. And I'm glad it's over and I passed.
Okay.
I'll be
Congratulations.
posting that. Yeah, thank you. But I'm
excited for that. In case you haven't noticed, guys, Savanna basically likes to deadlift Harley Davidsons in her free time. That's what she likes to do.
I wish. I wish. I do like Harleys and I do like deadlifts, but I prefer.
Yeah, she's getting there. All right. So, first part of the show, we're going to talk comic books tonight. By the way, Ian, this graphic, I like how you got everything set up tonight. This looks really good.
Oh, it looks so fucking good. You guys, everybody has to like Aquaman this up. We got some background. We have even heads leveling in the thing.
I know. It all came together last minute, which is the surprising part.
This is my favorite layout so far.
I like this.
Yay.
Which, by the way, it always works out the last minute for us for the last year. That's how we do it.
He's right.
So guys, please join in on the conversation. I know we got some people watching right now, and I want you to hop into the chat. I want you guys to kind of talk it out while we're talking comic books tonight. So comic books from this week. What did you guys pick up? What should we talk about?
I got Animosity and The Old Guard and Moonshine and this super sexy velvet hardcover book.
I've been seeing that everywhere.
Guess who also got that super sexy velvet hardcover collection this week?
And I bet you didn't pay MSRP for it. I'm fucking jealous.
I did not.
$50 fucking for this bitch.
I am fucking king of figuring out deals at cons. I can wheel and deal like a motherfucker.
God,
Dude, it's so pretty though.
It's so pretty, you guys. It's this big, sexy white hardcover thing with the velvet and the eyebrow, and it's beautiful.
It's by Brubaker. We've done an episode about it. We'll probably do another one.
I will always.
And I think it's one of his most underrated, understated series, and it's also one of his best.
Oh my god,
So-
I love Velvet. Everybody should be reading Velvet.
Yeah. I also got this Jughead one-shot, The Hunger. Did anybody get this with this Frank Cavia cover? It was retarded.
Didn't check. No, I missed it.
Oh, it was good. Very good. Anyway, those are mine.
Okay. Ian, what did you pick up this week?
I didn't have much. It wasn't really like a heavy week for me, but I did read X-Men Prime, Inhumans Prime. I did catch up on God Country, so I did read that.
Nice.
And I also read Aquaman, which is the book of the week.
We'll be talking about tonight. Should we just start this off with a bang right now, and should we just give everyone what they want and talk about X-Men and the very first issue of the new launch of the initiative of X-Men?
Oh, we totally should.
Let's do it. Everyone's dying. I'm dying.
Savannah, did you read
So,
that?
guys,
I did not. I'm on strike.
What? What the fuck?
No, I refuse.
But this is like, you know.
I don't know. Well, how
it's
about you
X-Men.
tell me why I should then, mister?
Okay, well, Kirk, you start first, because I have a lot of opinions.
Okay, so I'll
I have a lot of
I'll set everyone up, and I'm gonna set it up, and then we'll let Ian kind of take it because he's been following this very, very closely. Ian's almost become like our X-Men and Humans like go-to guy at this point. So basically, the X-Men in Marvel Comics have kind of taken a back seat because Marvel did not know how to like push the titles or promote the characters because they thought if the titles were front and center, they were actually promoting the competition's movies. Because if you guys remember, Fox has the rights to X-Men. So at some point, they decided to push the Inhumans to the front and center of the Marvel Universe and kind of use them as a substitute to the X-Men, which a lot of people just were not buying. Like, nobody bought it.
No.
And now we're kind of seeing this weird paradigm shift where we got a really good story out of it, but we did X-Men versus Inhumans. Ian kept us up to date every week on that shit. I started reading it because of him. It was a really interesting read, believe it or not. But we've come to the other end of that, and Marvel for the last 3 or 4 months has been totally teasing a whole new X-Men initiative. We're going to have bi-monthly 2-team comics. We're going to have X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue. One team's led by Kitty. One team is led by Jubilee, which is fucking badass. We also are going to have a kind of an uncanny X-Men, but looks like the X-Force team being written by Charles Soule. And they also just announced a new artist for every issue in that series. I don't know how I feel about that.
Have they given the list of the artists, though? That's my issue. Like, they're manipulating the art in the books and using it as a selling point for their shitty fucking stories. But because of the artist that's being repped for it, because people fucking love art and Marvel artists and art twice.
Well, and I honestly do believe that
like they can't get consistency from artists, so they just keep jumping around from artists, thinking that that's a selling point. It's bullshit.
I also think it's a way for them to like make fucking deadlines. So I think if everyone's got one book, then they're not going to worry about delays in shipping. I'm not a big fan of it, to be perfectly honest. Also, who else? Jean Grey is going to get her own title. Bobby is getting his own title. There's a lot going on with the X-Men. They're doing a full court press. They're doing a Weapon X series that's got Wolverine, Sabretooth, Warpath, Lady Deathstrike in it. They're doing a bunch of shit.
Oh, that sounds tantalizing, unfortunately.
Guys, I think you know how Savanna feels about all this. The other thing is that X-Men Prime was the first comic to come out this week that's kind of the introduction to all this new stuff. Kind of shows the status quo of where the X-Men are. Ian, take it the fuck away.
And the question is it good? I want to know, Ian, ultimately, is it good or is it bad? And scale it for me.
Okay, so, I mean, it's too early to really say whether this is going to be a success or a bomb. I'm pretty optimistic from what I've read so far from both of the Prime titles. I'm even excited for the Inhumans, and I guess I'll talk about that when we get there. But something that they did do on X-Men Prime is that they're bringing Kitty back to lead, and that makes me optimistic because having Kitty leading it's never disappointed me before. Like she was in Wolverine and the X-Men when she was helping Wolverine run the school, and she was really great in that. So she's kind of,
Is this Kitty post Guardians? Is this Kitty post Star-Lord? Like which Kitty is it picking up?
This is Kitty post. Yeah, this is Kitty. Yeah,
back on the ground. All right, that's cool.
Right. No, she's back. Of it. She's back, and they even address that. They address that she's back on Earth, and she even apologizes to Storm because Storm essentially comes to her and says, we need you to come back." And Kitty asks why, and she goes, "Because I'm leaving." And this is something that wasn't surprising to me because Medusa had already planned her departure over on IVX. So it kind of made sense that Storm will also kind of, step down as the leader of the X-Men after the war. And the art is beautiful. I'm showing a full page right now of Storm just floating outside of a window, going to be Kitty, and it's just like amazing and beautiful. Like the art did not disappoint in this issue. That was like a selling point for me. The story so far is really they do a lot of fan service.
Okay. Which everybody loves servicing their fans.
Which, really worked. Like there were a lot of cute moments with Kitty just making her way through the school that is currently still located in limbo. And she has a moment with Colossus. She has a moment with Jubilee. Shogo is back, which is super exciting.
Oh, baby Shogo.
Baby Shogo.
Yeah.
So I'm really optimistic about Kitty coming back to the school and kind of taking over for Storm for a little while. Thankfully, Kitty did convince Storm to stay because I didn't think it was prudent for her to leave necessarily. So I'm glad that she's kind of stepping down but staying in the team. Does that make any sense? So that's really cool. And Kirk, did you want to talk about the very beginning, like the first few pages with Lady Deathstrike?
Okay,
and what you think that means to the X-Men relaunch?
So basically, we get introduced to Lady Deathstrike again, and she's coming in on like a human trafficking sort of thing, where she's trying to keep a low profile, and she's being shipped into a port along with a bunch of what looks like maybe, like I said, human trafficking and like a giant cargo, a cargo box, one of those giant things you would see at the docks.
Mm-hmm.
And she's very much like, I just want to keep my head low. I just want to not be. I just need to get through here and just to kind of keep a low profile.
Yeah.
And basically, these smugglers grab one of the girls, and it's really insinuated that they're going to rape the girl because she hasn't paid her full amount of money that it costs to get snuck into this country. And that's when Lady Deathstrike's just like, God damn it. And she just berserks out and takes out the guys. And she's like, well, shit, shouldn't have done that. And starts to take off. And then this mysterious woman and a helicopter and obviously ominous secret group type people now kind of propose that she come and join their team. But they kind of give her a choice, but really there's no choice. Mm-hmm. And as the issue kind of unfolds, that's when we find out that it's some sort of program, and they're going to recruit Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Warpath, Domino, and Lady Deathstrike. And we're not sure what this is yet. Obviously, there's got to be some sort of blackmail situation to get these people working together, and whatever this organization is behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's Lady Deathstrike.
So do you think? Do you think this will set up what's going to happen in the Weapon X title?
It's basically announcing the Weapon X title.
Okay.
It just announced the lineup.
And that's a great way to kind of describe this issue. It kind of sets all of the different titles that are coming up. Like they set up the past X-Men's like title and stuff. Like they explain a lot of
Yeah.
that and they set it up. What else do they
Man,
set up?
So confused.
There was like some callbacks. Basically, you've got the original 5 that were brought from the past
Yeah.
to our current future. They're off, and you can kind of see like that's going to be a whole series on their own. And what else? I'm trying to forget. I'm going through the issue right now, kind of looking it over a little bit. It also definitely means like they're not going back to their original timeline. Like
No.
I guess this is officially like you're not going back anymore, guys. This is it.
And
So they're part of continuity.
yeah.
What else? Oh, we meet up with Ileana.
That's the
and she
other
decides-
cute moment that
Yeah.
Kitty had with. She had a
Mhm.
really amazing
Explain
moment
that.
with Colossus, Ileana, Jubilee, and Shogo.
hmm
But
And they discuss like they have to move the X Mansion to like a new location because they literally had it in Oblivion,
Limbo.
Limbo, this entire time,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the dimension that Ileana controls.
Yeah,
So,
and just to explain a little bit of that, they moved the school to Limbo because the Terrigen cloud that was circling the Earth was not only killing mutants in its path, but it was also unstable, and it was about to cover the entire Earth's atmosphere with it, and it essentially kill anything that is mutant.
right.
So they had to move the school to Limbo to survive the cloud. So
Right.
that's why it's there.
Which is kind of weird because Limbo is not a safe dimension as it is, but it was safer than being on Earth.
No, I mean when you have to move when you have to
We're
move
gonna
your
go to a
shit.
place where demons roam.
Exactly. When you have to move your shit to Limbo, shit is bad.
Right. It's not good. It's not good. Yeah, dude. I mean, it was a really good setup. I was kind of talking to Ian about it earlier this week, and the whole beginning of them playing basketball at the X Mansion really reminded. This is gonna be so cheesy, but it totally reminded me of old Jim Lee 1990s X-Men when they relaunched the series. And the first like couple of issues, there were times when it was the X-Men playing basketball, and I remember correctly, it was like Wolverine, Rogue, and Gambit, and they were all making a big deal about how they had to play basketball, but like there was no powers involved.
Yeah.
And it was like a really fun X-Men moment. So when they kind of threw that in this issue, I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool callback. I'm glad that like maybe that'll be a good hint at them kind of trying to bring the fun back to X-Men instead of it being incredibly serious all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of hoping to see like family dynamics. I'm trying to really hope for like, that sort of situational storytelling in this series. Hopefully. But what else, Ian, what else did you get from it? I mean, did you think this was a really good way to kind of launch stuff off again?
I appreciated it because, like, it really did help me understand where all of the titles are going to go and what direction, And it kind of made me, like, really want to read X-Men Gold, which is a title I was not planning on picking up at all. So now I'm really stoked about that because of X-Men Prime. So this is a really good way to know where those stories are going and whether or not you're going to be picking them up or not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with that?
No, absolutely. I think it definitely gave everyone a chance to kind of pick and choose which comics they want to pick up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is what this is going to be about. Hey, this is a taste of what you can expect from this series.
Yeah.
And that's that's a big deal. You kind of need that for the fans. I'm glad they didn't kind of just spring everything on us and then we just buy everything and kind of waste our money on some of the stuff that we didn't want to pick up. So,
exactly.
Because, like, I'm not necessarily sure if I'm going to pick up Weapon X. That doesn't seem like a fun series for me right now.
Really? I thought that...
I don't know. I mean, I'm so damn curious to see what the element's going to be that brings those guys together and keeps them as a team.
I'm curious. Exactly. Like, I love Lady Deathstrike so much. I'm really excited for her to be... You don't like Lady Deathstrike?
I love her.
Oh, okay. Like,
me too.
I want to see her in a title with the dudes for once. She's always like a chick team. Always in a chick team. She's better than that.
On top of that, I'm really excited to see what the dynamic is going to be between her and Domino. Because Domino's a badass in her own right, too. So...
Or between her and fucking Sabretooth.
I know, everyone on the team hates each other.
Yeah.
What is that going to be about?
And Kirk...
I know. I'm excited.
And Kirk went over it, and I'm trying to pull up the page right now that shows like who they are hunting. Because in the few pages that you see latest strike in, you get like a page of like the people they're trying to gather. Oh, come on, page, really?
Like the people they're trying to recruit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So while you're looking for that, more people have popped in the chat. I kind of want to talk about
what are
something.
they? I mean, I know a lot of them read it. What are they saying?
The chat is going nuts tonight, guys. I love it. So, Delirium Delight. Hello, Bridget. How are you?
Hi, friends.
Good to see you in there. Mike the Mutant. He finished inking his comic. He's in tonight.
He finished it?
Comic Conquest mentioned that Gambit always cheated when I was talking about the basketball issue, and it's true because he has natural agility. And if everyone remembers correctly, Wolverine at one point calls him out on it and then does a no-look behind the back shot and swishes the basketball. I remember that issue. It was a good issue. Let's see. Clark's son, Weapon X is a hard pass for him. He said he can't do Greg Land art. I don't think that's a bad thing to say. Greg Land art is always kind of hit and miss with me. And if it's an entire series of it, I get that it can get a little... it can wear down a little bit. Venable Touch, he forgot to mention the most important part. We forgot to mention the most important part, and he's going to remind us. They did move the X-Mansion out of Limbo. Does anyone want to tell the rest of the people at home where they moved to the mansion?
Central Park?
Yes, Central Park.
So I have the page moved up. Did you want to go over it before I move onto the last page, which is what Venable Touch is talking about?
Yeah, so we got I've got like my cursor over it. It's not like you guys can see it. We got Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Warpath, Domino, and Lady Deathstrike. So,
which is killer.
Sabretooth has kind of been a reluctant X-Men because he was working with Magneto and trying to save what mutants were left from the Terrigen Mist and also from the Reavers, I believe, came back. Warpath hasn't been around in a while. I don't know where he's been. He's a fun character. Domino is just an ultimate badass, and we really need to have an X-Force series again as soon as possible with her. And yeah, here's Lady Deathstrike. She hates Wolverine. She will probably do anything to kill Wolverine, and she'll probably make alliances with whomever to make it happen. Also, really cool part in the issue, at one point she takes a fucking missile, a rocket missile, and she's like, they're like, oh, don't worry, she can handle it, or we wouldn't be recruiting her in the first place.
What does she say? Because there's that woman who meets her at the shore, and it's like, we have a business proposition for you. And then she's like, what if I say no? And she's like, well, no is not really an answer. And then
she shanks the woman hard.
Yeah, she fucking just pierces her with no fucking hesitation. And she's like, no is always an option. Next thing you know, this bitch is taking a missile to the face. And it's just like this panel of her being evaporated. Kind of. Not really. She's not evaporated, but she survives it. It's really cool. I'm showing it right now.
Right now? Okay. I was like, I want to see that shit.
Okay, I'm showing it right now.
It's pretty badass.
It's just her skeleton being like, it's amazing. Her part, like, her little section sold me on it. I may pick it up and read it.
If anything else, man, I'm really hoping it's kind of the Lady Death and the X-Force. You know what I mean? Like, I want her to be the leader of the team. That'd be really fucking dope.
Savannah, you seem thoughtful. What are you thinking? What's going on in your head?
This excites me.
It excites you? Okay.
This excites me. I'm cautiously optimistic. I might pick up Inhumans. I don't know about this, but I might pick up Inhumans. Might. Strong word.
Wait, but why would you pick up Inhumans but not this, though?
Because I love Black Bolt.
I know. You know, I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and I was like, I think I'm going to read Black Bolt's title. Like, I think I am. I'm so curious about a king who's not able to, like, speak. Like, isn't he called, like, the Silent King?
Yeah.
Like, that's so cool. Like, IVX...
He's my favorite Marvel hero.
Really?
That's why... Is he really?
Yeah. I have, like, the bigged collection of Black Bolt commissions, like, in the world. I have, like, over 120.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I did not realize that you had a hard-on for a Black Bolt.
I do.
That makes me even more excited.
I'm upset about it. So I'm really upset about it, but I put them in a book and put that book in a box. So I have a giant portfolio full of all of them.
So how did you feel when Black Bolt was taken out on the very first issue of IVX? Now this makes me rethink
I
everything.
didn't read IVX because of what has been happening to Black Bolt over the last year. I've literally been on the Marvel strike since the deterioration of that whole thing.
You completely hate the Quiet Room, right? Yeah, you're completely against the Quiet Room.
I hated Quiet Room like that. It disgusted me. I was horrified. You're a tracer.
Someone mentioned that. Come on, everyone loves the tracer joke. It's great.
Everybody loves the tracer joke.
But just just to summarize, Kitty's becoming the leader of the X-Men. Storm is stepping down.
Kitty's becoming the leader. I heard you say that.
No, don't make fun of my English. I speak 3 languages. You can't do this to me. I can't be
worldly. Okay, shut up.
I can't be expected to say every word right.
I thought it was adorable.
So Kitty Pryde is becoming the leader, and Storm is stepping down but staying in the team. Lady Deathstrike has been captured and kind of setting up, I guess, the Weapon X title, right? And they've moved the school out of Limbo and onto Central Park, New York City, and I'm super excited because there were things like Jubilee and Shogo. There was this cute moment that Kitty and Colossus had, and Ileana, of course. I love seeing her. I love seeing magic in anything. So
me too. I fucking love magic.
So that's all that really happens, and it was really well done for what it was. Just an issue to set things up. That's all it is.
I thought it was a really good setup issue. I knew it was going to be an introductory, hey, please don't forget about the X-Men issue, but I thought they did a really great job with it, believe it or not. It was. I think it was worth the price of admission. Totally.
Yeah.
So,
Savannah, I'm going to give you Kirk's Comixology so you read it. Kirk, did you buy Inhumans Prime 2?
I did not. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm not. I'm one of those people who's not sold on the Inhumans.
No,
I like it when the Inhumans show up.
No worries.
I don't like it when the Inhumans
I like it when they hide and are obscure and nobody else reads about them or cares.
Okay. Wow.
That's how I like mine.
So much Inhumans phobia going on right now, dude.
I know. It used to be a closet thing. 5 years ago, nobody fucking knew what an Inhuman was. Now it's and now it's as common as an X-Men. People know what that shit is now. It's mind blowing.
Oh my god, Savannah!
Around for fucking however many years fucking Inhumans have been around to just now for it to be a thing.
Can we go on a tangent really quick? Okay, so I've been following Marvel's Inhumans, the TV show. There's this Twitter account that it's owned by a guy who lives in Hawaii where it's being shot. Okay, so what the fuck? Medusa is bald? I knew they weren't gonna do the hair. They don't have the budget. Medusa doesn't have a power that can be done on TV. I knew they were gonna bald that bitch. I knew it.
In order to do it fucking right, they would have to do that. I don't know if I could settle with it any other way. It has to be that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd be okay with the show where they decided to take the liberties and not
her hair.
Do the hair.
Each strand of hair is completely controllable. The shit is always fucking doing shit.
Exactly.
It's everywhere, and it's fucking miles long, and it can change lengths.
So
I'm not sure if I'm cool with this.
So I'm confused.
It has to be able to be wild.
I'm confused as to why they shaved her head, and a lot of people are saying, "Look, they might just CGI it in," and that could happen. But she first of all, she's not wearing a green cap, and and they dyed her buzz cut red. So why would you dye the buzz cut red if you're gonna put CGI on it anyway?
Interesting.
Unless, it's going to be this whole thing where, it spontaneously grows when she needs it to, in which case that would be fucking weird.
Oh my god. Like a monstrous situation where it just, extends.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd be okay with that.
I don't either. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Inhumans should be obscure. This right here, this whole thing, is why Inhumans need to just stay at the back of the moon. Just fucking go away. Nobody wants you. Don't ruin it for me, because they're gonna fucking ruin it for me. It's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna lose my damn mind.
Well,
I hate to say it, but the chat has just said it right now, dude. Last time I liked the Inhumans was in Infinity. That was a while ago.
And that was walking a very fine line. Like, I am like a Future Foundation's.
Oh, I love Future Foundation, of course.
That was the best Medusa ever.
And then also, someone else mentioned it, dude. Ale Knight. The last time he liked the Inhumans was back when Jack Kirby was drawing them. Man, oh man.
So
a lot of dude. I think they really did just shove the Inhumans our way, and no one really freaking bought it, dude. Oh, cool. We've got a anal sex butt cheeks troll in the chat.
We do.
And the thing is,
we have trolls.
Yeah, the thing is, we have trolls. And the thing is, I think if you stuck around, you'd find out that we actually talk about anal sex a lot on this show.
Oh my
You're
god!
on the right place. Okay with anal sex.
I love trolls. I love anal sex. We have something in common, troll. So, did you guys want to talk about? Did you guys want to talk about Inhumans Prime?
You guys talk about Inhumans Prime, and then we'll move on to some other comics because I'm out of the loop on this one. Okay,
no, I will just very quickly cover what happened. So, at the very beginning, we are introduced to Marvel Boy, aka if you read Young Avengers, he was Nobar in that.
Yes.
He is currently not. What?
Sorry. I really love Young Avengers. I got excited.
Oh, I know. We're like, oh, Marvel Boy.
So you see Nobar, and then he has this conversation with himself because he's watching the news, and they're talking about how like the war is over and the Terrigen cloud is gone, and it's kind of like, and then he has this moment where like, oh my god, the Inhumans in this reality don't know yet what the Terrigen really is. And then it cuts off, and then we move on to the Inhumans, who are currently going after Maximus and his like group of like, you know, his fangirls or whatever the fuck. I don't know why they're hanging out with Maximus, but anyway, so they end up they end up capturing him. It's just this huge like Inhuman battle with Miss Marvel's there, everybody's there, and they end up capturing Maximus. And they jail him, and then he and Black Bolt and Maximus have this moment where Maximus whispers something to Black Bolt, and Black Bolt's like, "What the fuck? You don't get to know what it is." But I read and I have a theory. I read the IVX tie-in, which involved Maximus using Lineage, who's another Inhuman who's able to connect to his ancestors, and one of his ancestors used to be one of the scientists that created the Terrigen Mist. So essentially, Maximus has possession of the recipe to Terrigen.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I'm assuming that that's what he whispered to Black Bolt. I know how to make more Terrigen. And Black Bolt decided to, during his trial, because he's going to face trial for his crimes, to have him sedated completely. So he's just like fucking drooling on himself in the middle of like Medusa's big speech, because Medusa does a speech where she goes, I'm no longer a queen, Black Bolt is no longer a king, we are handing the Inhumans over to Iso, who is going to be a temporary like governor until they can create a small government for themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does.
And
so it's almost like an intermarriage, or I'm not gonna be able to say the word. Intervention.
What do you mean?
Keep going.
No, so it's just essentially they use the trial to announce that there is no more, kings and queens and princesses. Like it's just. It's the Inhumans are their own now. They're going to govern themselves essentially. Okay. And they end up sentencing Maximus to like they just like ship him off somewhere for eternity, I guess. You never hear
whatever.
Yeah, so you never hear from him again. He didn't get to use, I guess, the Whisper to save himself, because I'm assuming that he was going to use that to get out of being, exiled. But Black Bolt was like, I'm not having that. Sedate the fuck out of him. He cannot speak during the trial. And then it cuts off at the very end. It just shows Nobar talking to Crystal, and and the last line is super cool. And he says, "Come with me if you want to be awesome." And I'm just like, yes!
That's fucking Marvel Boy, though. Marvel Boy's like this, like, lives in the moment, doesn't give a fuck. just feels the vibe. Like, oh, by the way, I'm kicking ass. And do you hear this song? It sounds really good. This is a great soundtrack to be kicking ass right now.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love Marvel Boy. Like, that attitude that they built for him in Young Avengers was like, yes, I want to read this character all the time.
So I'm wondering if the Inhumans are going to, I don't know. I'm assuming they're gonna have to go into space to find a way to replicate Terrigen, right? Because
they have to.
Yeah, because it seems like Nova right now is the only hope they have to get Terrigen back, and he seems to know what's going on from the dialogue in the beginning. So that's what's going on. So Novar knows what's happening with the Terrigen. Maximus has been sentenced and exiled. There's no Queen. Okay. Black Bolt and Medusa aren't king and queen anymore. And Iso is now the leader of the Inhumans until a government can be created for them. And then Novar, man. Like, I was in it at Novar. I was there.
And then let's see what the chat has to say about this little Inhumans talk really quickly. One is L Knight saying, see, they are jerks. The Inhumans are jerks. Galactus Hunger, Savanna, says jerks. Comic Quest says that Atlantis, they're becoming a democratic society.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Also, the argument still rages on whether Greg Land is a tracer and if Rob Liefeld
traces from porn? Traces from porn?
I like that.
What?
No. Everyone, quick, do your favorite porn face.
Kirk, you do that, not me.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not playing either.
Every single face he draws.
Wow. Oh, you know what?
Thank you.
Your mic is cutting in and out.
Mine?
Yeah. Oh, I see it. It's bad.
It's really bad.
It's so bad.
So bad. So yeah, that's your X-Men Inhumans update. And I think this is gonna be really interesting, whichever way this goes.
You know, and so Savanna, what did you think about what I had to say about what happened in the issue?
There's just so much going on. The thing about the indie books that I love so much is I get a consistent concept. It's hard to hang on to the X-Men stuff because it changes, but it still remains within the same realm of the story before it, and the story before that, and the story before that. So it's like this inconsistently consistent chain of bullshit. If that's where they're finding their consistency, then I guess I'll just have to live with it. But honestly, it just confuses the fuck out of me.
No, you know, and I agree because, and I didn't realize it until you said it just now. The Prime issues made sense to me because I followed this incredibly closely. Like, I did. And there's no way you could jump into these Prime issues without knowing what's going on. Now that I really think about it, unless you read Death of X, IVX, and Extraordinary X-Men, and Uncanny Inhumans, there's no way you could read these Prime issues.
And when you get a new indie book or even a fucking new DC book, you could start a new title and still fucking halfway know what's going on. You're jumping into X having fucking not a damn clue why there's 18 fucking teams of mutants. Like, why is everybody all clicked up? Like, what happened between you guys?
I will say this.
Started the food fight in the fucking cafeteria. That's all.
Yeah, dude. X-Men Prime, the title, this one single comic had a lot going against it because of all the bullshit that was going on in all the other X-Men titles. To somehow neatly wrap that up, get everyone caught up, and then go, and by the way, here's all the new teams. Like that's hard. I mean, fucking hard.
I feel like they're constantly, like, backpedaling to, like, be like, oh, man, we fucked this up, or we fucked this up. Always trying to save their asses when it comes to, like, restarting a new thing. But when has it never been smart to start where new readers can pick up?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, why are you going to make this big, huge, bringing back the X-Men event and have it be such a damn clusterfuck?
Because I think they've basically painted themselves into a corner, and it's like
this Avengers scheme. where they're making us fall into like the same. They're like, well, it really works for the Avengers. Maybe it'll work for the X-Men and the Inhumans, and they're working on this whole team thing instead of focusing on the stories within the teams or keeping the teams like right where they're supposed to be. It's fucking weird.
Yeah. So yeah,
no,
like Black Hammer.
You know, I completely understand your frustration, and like I don't blame you for feeling that way. I just like I refuse to leave the X-Men right now. I feel like,
and you love the character so much more than I do. Like I'm so bitter. Like my bitterness just like. I'm hardened, Ian. I don't give a fuck anymore.
No,
like I'm wearing my Wolverine t-shirt, and that's about as good as it's gonna get for me.
No, I know.
Oh no. Well, we can talk some indie books before we get back to big 2 books if you want.
Let's talk some indie.
I still like talking about it, and I like hearing about it, and I like hearing if it's good or bad, so I can be like, ha, I fucking knew that shit was gonna happen. The storyline was gonna fall off 3 books in. They're gonna have to change the creative team. They're just gonna add a fucking wing story, and it's all gonna fall apart in 6 issues, and they're gonna restart the whole fucking thing again. Every time.
Yeah.
It's fucking shit. So
now,
annoying.
Well, do you think at this point, like, that's something you just have to accept?
I refuse. I will not ever.
You can't accept it.
Ever. No, fuck that shit. I know what it was like when it was good. They just need to fucking bring it down 100 fucking notches. Why is it gotta be so much?
Yeah.
Why is it so intense? Why do you have to have 90 fucking X titles? How about one awesome fucking X title? Just one. You guys have Disneyland. Why the fuck do you have to sell books? I don't understand.
Do you guys want to talk about Logan? I watched Logan.
I want to hear it. What's that?
I watched Logan. We can talk about some good X-Men stuff.
Dude, did you finally see Logan?
I did. I went. Oh man.
Tell me about the sweet, sweet tears. Just skip to the tears.
I will admit, I pride myself on the fact that I admit when I'm wrong, and I was wrong. Logan was an amazing film. It was a great time. Laura was amazing. Halfway through the movie, I was like, why does she need Wolverine? She could just do this on her own. Bitch can drive. That was great. I mean...
When they're in an argument, and she's so angry that she punches him in the face.
Oh my god. I was the only one in the theater who actually knew what she was saying, by the way, because I speak Spanish. It was really adorable. Her performance outdid 11 on Stranger Things. 11 Who. It's all about Laura right now. I'm gonna follow that little girl wherever she goes in her career, and it was really good.
That was her first movie.
I love that Wolverine, and that's been happening a lot lately with these kid actors. Where are they coming from? Where are they breeding these kids?
I don't know,
but. You know, I love that it was rated R.
Scene, no.
What?
A cereal scene.
Cereal scene?
Oh, the cereal scene. That was Savanna.
Oh, yes!
That was my favorite scene in the whole movie, that part. I mean, there was other really good ones, but that one was just like...
Yeah.
I love you, child.
Yeah.
I love you, tiny, angry little beast. You feral monster. I love her.
So,
I love Laura.
I loved the other mutants, I guess, since they are mutants.
The baby mutants?
Yeah, but my favorite ones were Ice Girl and Electro Boy. Those little chicken nuggets, I could just fucking eat them up. They were so cute.
Cute.
Yeah, like when the Electro Boy, he's just this chubby little black boy. He's just like waddling around. I love him. I was obsessed with him. And I managed to not cry through the entire movie, but at the very end, the last 10 seconds did get me. I'm not gonna say what happens, but Laura does something that hit me in a way I wasn't expecting it to.
She does two things. The first thing that happens towards the end of the film, I'm like Niagara Falls. I am fucking bawling. I took actually Frida, who's kind of part of the YMB fam. We went to go together, and I'm trying to hold it together, but she grabs my arm in the theater, and she just starts bawling, and that's it. Like, we've lost it.
Yeah.
And then this other thing, like, the movie's like, are you done crying? No, the fuck you're not. And this other thing happens, and I'm just like, now it's even worse.
Yeah.
That movie just,
the shit out of you. It literally beats the shit out of you.
it did beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I liked it. I wanted more.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Ian, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it.
I did.
I knew it was gonna be a good movie for you, dude.
You know, there are a few things that I have a problem with it, but like the movie overall was amazing. I have nothing negative to say about the movie, but it was sad to see Professor X in that state. It was sad to see the state of the world that they're in. It was sad. It was sad that it got that bad.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was, if you really wanted to, you could almost. It was this weird, good mix between Old Man Logan from the comics, and then also kind of that heading towards that, you know, Days of Future, Past Future. You could see it heading that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that was kind of like the really depressing part. But I'm really glad that they portrayed it in this film just right. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's the most dysfunctional family road trip film I've ever seen. And also, dude, Patrick Stewart, like, I'm so glad he didn't phone this in. That was taking his portrayal of Professor X to the next fucking level.
Everybody did amazing.
It was amazing.
I cannot wait to buy this movie and add it to my cinematic universe.
Dude, I'm sorry, guys. I'm ready for an X-23 film. Give me a spin-off, and it's the New Mutants led by that Laura.
Me too.
Just give me that.
Please bring back Electro Boy. He's so cute.
Yes. Yes. I mean, for Ian's sake, fucking do it, guys. Do it for Ian.
And then another shout out, which I don't think a lot of people would know unless you've been involved in the LGBT side of Marvel. They did have a gay character. They did have a shout out to Richter, who is openly gay Marvel character, and I believe he had the first gay kiss in Marvel history, right?
I think so. No, wasn't it? It was.
It wasn't Wiccan.
Alpha Flight, and I forget his name because he became an X-Men later, and they had the marriage. Fuck! I'm doing such a disservice right now. I'm so sorry.
Richter, X-Men. I'm gonna look it up. He had like
a
first. He had a first in Marvel.
Yeah. But I know that Richter also started a relationship with Shatterstar, who came out as bi in the X Factor comics, which was really good, by the way. North Star. Thank you, chat. It was North Star. The whole chat's blowing up. It was fucking North Star. He got married in the X-Men comics to his boyfriend.
Yeah, I think I own that issue.
It's a great issue. It's a great issue. Alrighty, guys. What else do you want to talk about tonight?
Did you guys read Animosity?
I read Animosity.
Man, that shit is dark.
Yes, it is. It's dark as shit.
It is dark as shit. That last panel, though.
Okay, so if you guys are not keeping up with Animosity, it's out by Aftershock Comics, who's came out of nowhere, is an independent publisher who has spent buco bucks to get big name creators to kind of tell their own independent creator-owned stories. So Warren Ellis is writing for him. Brian Azzarello is writing for him. This series is by Marguerite Bennett. She's got 2 series out by them right now. Mark Waid has also got a series out on this publisher's label. I fucking love what Aftershock is doing. Animosity hits issue 6 this week, and the story is essentially all the animals at the same time across all the earth become self-aware and can speak. And oh my god, it's unreal. Savanna, I like setting it up. Go for it.
Well, it's the what is it? The Animalitia? Is that what they're calling it?
Yeah, the Animalitia
is kind of moving along, and these things that are stalking them look like scarecrows. They're fucking creepy as shit.
Yeah.
And one of the characters is picking up on is a raccoon. And he's picking up on 1,400 different kinds of scents, and he's just like, I don't know if it's human, I don't know if it's animal, but it's definitely fucking weird, and it's definitely following us. and shit just kind of goes down in between scenes, and it kind of skips from a few of the characters are in different places, and then something will happen and like cliffhanger, and then it'll jump to something else and cliffhanger, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
This book is intense.
And I like the fact that it's kind of like The Walking Dead, but with animals, but I'm really liking this more than I like The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So, like, remember in The Walking Dead, there was that group, I want to call them, what was it, the Whisperers, the Whistlers?
Yeah, Skin Whisperers.
Yeah, and so we kind of come across that version of these enemies and animosity, and they, like, wear a bunch of different animal pelts over them to kind of confuse other animals, and we're still not sure if they're human, and later on in the comic, it's revealed, like, they're, like, a bunch of different animals working together in, like, a bodysuit. It's so fucking creepy.
Weird.
What?
And they're like eating other animals, and then there's this dragon, and what it turns out to actually be is fucking just like you're like, what? That's so weird. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I really want to implore people to pick this up, because there's a moment in this thing where the main characters that we've been following, and it's like a lemur, it's another human, it's the dog that we absolutely love from the very beginning, and also this elk. And this elk has been walking around with hand grenades hanging from his antlers. And at one point, they know they're about to get jumped by these enemies, and you just see the dog look over at Potter, who's the elk with the grenades, and just goes, light them up. And one of the elks chucks one of the grenades off of its antlers and fucking takes out motherfuckers. And it was so good. It was so good.
Fuck.
Animosity keeps going there. I'm so excited for this.
So you're saying that I should pick it up again?
Wait, say that again?
You're saying that I should pick it up again then? Because I dropped it. I unfortunately dropped it at, I think, issue 4.
Why did you drop it? I'm just curious.
Okay, so there was this issue, I believe it was issue 3, and they were, I don't know if they were jumping time, but it just got a little bit confusing for me, and then it wasn't like I meant to drop it, I just got confused with the time jumps. I don't even know if they were time jumps, but I got confused to the point where I didn't pick up the next issue, and then now I'm like 3 issues behind.
Yeah, it's only number 6.
I highly suggest you get caught up, and the comic is dark as shit.
Okay.
It is dark as shit. And I mean, I really, really appreciate what they're doing with the level of how good this comic is. This is one of like the best Aftershock new books. Mm-hmm. You could pick this up and not have read the other ones and know exactly what's happening to an extent, or be able to somehow put it together. It's very easy to read. The layout of it is great for beginning readers, and it's kind of a gnarly story, but it's not too gnarly. Like, I would let a preteen read this book for sure.
Okay, there you go. But I mean, it's
like Kirk said, as like Walking Dead with animals is pretty right on the head. The art could use a little bit more technique, personally. Mm-hmm. It's just it could be better. Like, you can see like in the cover and stuff where she does do better, and there's just some parts where I'm just like, you might lose me because of the art. But otherwise, it's really good.
Yeah, I keep coming back for the story and the concept.
I come back for the story. The story is so well written, and it is such an awesome story, and it really kind of sucks you in. But yeah, I love it.
What else? God, I'm almost afraid. I want to do another indie before we go to the bigger comics. Believe it or not, the big 2 had a lot of good stuff out this week. Did anyone check out Black? You know me, guys. I love Black Mask. Did anyone check out Galaxy of Brutality, Space Riders?
I didn't.
I started reading that. I'm not caught up. How many issues is it in? I read the first 2? No, the first 1.
Okay, so Black Mask put out this really great comic. I don't know if you can find it in my Comixology and put it up right now, because the art is something to really check out.
Please let me know if you talk about something that you have the issue available for. I will look it up.
I have the issue in there. It's Space Riders, Galaxy of Brutality, lots of neon light, colors.
I'm gonna read it.
But it's by Black Mask Studios. It's by Zurich. This is the 2nd volume in the series, and it's just a fucking adrenaline very machismo. I will say that it's a very macho series, but I'm really into it, and it's like the guy's got a spaceship that's in the shape of a skull, and
What?
it's so badass.
That's dope.
Oh, dude. And the art is very reminiscent. It's like the art is like 60s, 70s, like grindhouse type art. But imagine like also throwing that shit in.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah. Check that out.
Is that baboon in a cloak?
Yes, the baboon in the cloak also meditates in the third eye. Yes.
Hook me up. That's all you had to say.
Dude.
It's like, say fucking, oh, look at that shit.
Are you into it? Are you fucking into it?
I'm into it.
How could you not be into this?
What? It is so fucking cool. Oh my god. Yeah. Where has this been all my life?
I have the first trade here somewhere that I got at...
Does he have an eye patch? Or is that a cybernetic eyeball?
He's got an eye patch.
Fuck me up. Okay.
It's also, this is the first trade I got. It's by Black Math Studios.
That's hot.
I got this. This is a limited edition new comic or local comic book day book.
Wait, that's it.
Yes.
Is this the second volume then?
This is the second volume, but you don't need to read the first volume. This one just throws you right into it.
That's so cool. I'm reading it.
Yeah, dude. The first Space Riders was also fucking amazing, and I just love the fact. I like that the guy curses and uses like Spanish slang.
It's like Tom Neely meets like neon shit. Like, dude, if Tom Neely went neon, this is what it would look like. You know why, Savanna, you would love this book? I would suggest this to anybody who loves the Humans. Yes, I fucking love the Humans. Oh my god. Humans, Tom Neely, Keenan Marshall Keller. If you have not read the Humans, please go read the Humans. It'll change your life. Cock fucking boom. Read the Humans. Read the Humans. We should do the Humans in 2 weeks. Oh my god, what? I'll be like, this is all my art. Look at all my books. This is all my shit. Check it out. Humans. We already got a book picked next week and a guest, but 2 weeks we're gonna do the fucking Humans.
Okay, well, okay. I agree with that. Awesome.
Like biker monkeys, please. Biker monkeys. Yeah. Biker apes. 8 bikers. Biker monkeys. But guys, please pick up Space Riders. It's a very quick read. But, like, immediately when I put it down, I was like, I gotta read that one more time. Look at those galaxy boobs. That's a galaxy butt. What? Yeah. Space buns. Kirk, you did not say so. What the fuck is that?
I hope you know I mentioned this title before, and nobody even batted an eye.
No.
I did.
You didn't show me this.
Okay.
Fucking love the internet.
And by the way, at one point, he gets brought into this thing called it's a Tormenta Cosmica. And do you know what that is? It's a gateway to oblivion in the shape of a vagina.
That sounds very, very fucking accurate. Just saying.
Space Riders, I am in love with this fucking book, guys.
Please
go pick it up.
I love acid.
Yeah, dude, this is very Kirby. It's Kirby, especially like if Kirby was dropping acid and writing stories for heavy metal. It's so good.
I like it.
Kirk, did you read God Country #3?
I did.
I didn't know that was out for some reason. I skipped this.
You know what the funny part is? I picked it up a week later. But bring it up. I want to hear you talk about it.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was kind of late to the party. It's still going strong. What do you think? I really love where this story is going.
Here's the cool part about this book. I like where the story's going. I like the concept. The best part is that I like the fact he's not done exploring the concept. Like the very first issue when God Country is essentially a man with Alzheimer's and his son, whose family is being torn apart because he doesn't know how to care for his Alzheimer's father, finds this enchanted fucking sword that will amp out all those powers, and also he's cured of his Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. So the very first issue is like this poor man who's now endowed with the powers of a god, going like, oh my god, my wife is dead. Oh my god, I have a grandchild. Oh my god, I have Alzheimer's. Where's the last 10 years of my life gone? We're exploring that in this series.
And like from the very first issue was set up so well too. Like it just had this like feeling of doom, you know, because it's like they always gave you that line of like, and this happened before everything fell apart. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then and they did the same thing on this issue, and I cannot wait for him. What do you think is going to happen? Because right now, shit's starting to go bad.
Here's the worst part. I don't think there's a happy ending in this story.
There is not, and they tell you that, which I love very much.
Like, this story does not have a happy ending, but I can't turn away from it.
I can't either. And the art, what are you still loving the art?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that the art is a little rough. It really kind of translates really well to what the story
It's rough around the edges, because don't you think maybe the South is a little bit rough around the edges?
You know, kind of the same way that, like, when you read Southern Bastards and they're trying to give you that air of the South, or like Jason Latour's Loose Change story that we're reading right now, like, that art translates really well to the Midwest and the South stories. I don't know why, but it just works really well.
And I'm showing a page right now, which is the very last page, and it's giving me a little bit of Witches vibe. What do you think? I'm really digging this.
I'm wondering, like, if 3 issues into it, now he's going to throw us a curveball.
Yeah.
I wonder if, like, not everything's been revealed yet.
Oh, definitely not.
You know, I don't think so. I think we've only seen, like, maybe the first taste of what the book's about.
Yeah.
Because we're dealing with gods, and on top of that, gods who are taking their freaking battles back to Earth. What other mythology is out there that they're going to bring into the story? And
it's kind of like, how is this family going to make it? There's like supernatural beings coming after them and attacking them. And if this is what happened to them on issue 3, I can only fucking imagine what's to come. And and they tell you that there's not going to be a happy ending. These people are going to go through so much, and I can't wait to like see what happens.
Again, another book I'm glad that you discovered, dude. I'm really glad that you're reading that.
But the relationship,
we'll talk more about it later.
The relationship that the sword has with like the little girl and, you know, the family is really funny. Like the sword like even takes itself a little bit too seriously.
Like giving the sword like a personality.
Like the daughter goes, "Grandpa, can I play with this?" The personality that it has, like the little girl goes, "Grandpa, can I play with the sword?" And the sword goes, "I am not a fucking sword. I am all of them, bitch." Like, it's so funny. I love the sword. I love that the sword has a personality, and it's kind of like a character of its own, you know? Like, this isn't his sword. The sword is with him because it wants to be with him.
Right. It's kind of like how Jason Aaron has given Mjolnir kind of a personality in Thor, but it's not very apparent to everybody else. I like that the sword just talks.
Yeah. And it's sassy, too.
So. Do we have time for one more? What do you guys want to do? Because we're
tell Chip Marlowe to shut the fuck up. Start with that.
What's Chip Marlowe doing right now?
Shut up, Chip.
I'm not even going to repeat. I am not going to repeat any of this in the chat right now, Chip.
What is what is Chip saying?
He's just being stupid.
This
bastard better not be talking about me.
Sean. Here's the hard part. I don't want Sean to get too much of an ego tonight, because he kind of suggested the book that we're going to read tonight, and he was right on about it. But I don't want him to get too much of an ego about being right, and that's not a good thing for Sean.
Nah, he can't handle it. His head just like it's out of control.
Did you guys want to talk about Aquaman, or did you guys want to talk about Batgirl, Joss Whedon first? Did we already talk about that?
I think we're going to talk about Batgirl at the end of the show.
Okay, perfect. Let me pull up.
So do you want to do that now?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay, my only other thing I want to throw out, because we're going to talk enough Big Two tonight. Also, DC came out with like a lot of their crossover titles this week. So the Green Lantern Space Ghost comic was the one that I picked up.
Space Ghost!
Completely on a whim. I thought it would be so fucking dumb. it turned out to be probably my favorite issue of the week. Green Lantern and Space Ghost team up. It's a very simple, straightforward story, but the art was goddamn killer. Like, I was drooling over the art. And I like the fact that Space Ghost and Hal are kind of one and the same person. And it was a lot of fun. It was a great read. And it got me a little teary-eyed at one point in the book. Green Lantern, Space Ghost. I'll probably do a review on it later by myself. But that was my pick, believe it or not. I read a Hanna-Barbera DC crossover, and it was great. I don't know what to do with myself right now.
Is Space Ghost a DC property?
Yeah. DC owns all the Hanna-Barbera characters. So Space Ghost falls underneath like the whole Flintstones, Scooby-Doo stuff that they're doing.
Okay. Total sense.
Yeah. It was a really good issue, guys. It's weird. I don't know what to do with it. We'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
We'll talk later.
So, Savanna, did you have something else, or Aquaman next?
No, I'm good. It's almost 10 o'clock, and I gotta get up at like 4:30 and do gym things, so...
All right. Guys, let's get into the book of the week. Aquaman.
I fucking love Aquaman. Hold on, real quick. Chip actually sent this to me in the mail with a couple of other things that we'll talk about next week. But
wait, you got a couple other things? Chip, you didn't send me a couple of other things.
That's because I'm the favorite. I'm the number one son.
But I'm
Where's
his
your
bestie.
Freddie? Look. I got this book. Here.
Is that Valiant?
Yes.
Okay. That was something I actually did at WonderCon. I challenged myself. I know nothing about the Valiant universe, so I picked up some Valiant comics.
Oh, yeah? Did you get anything super cool?
I got the Exo Manowar first issue, and I got the Bloodshot.
Oh, the Bloodshot
Reborn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about the Valiant universe, and so I'm gonna check it out. Can I talk really quickly about the stuff I picked up at WonderCon?
Yes.
By the way, WonderCon was really great.
Intermission.
WonderCon was great. The cosplay was outrageous. I'm glad that it's kind of back in Anaheim, even though it's harder for me to get to. I was really unhappy that there was not nearly enough panels highlighting creators. A lot of the panels were like TV shows, movies, and honestly, like panels like what we do, but like live. So I wanted more panels. Artist Alley fucking kicked all the ass. The independent small press section is always my favorite. I met up with Alex, who is also a YMB watcher. He was picking out his comics, and then he also had his friend JD with him. So I picked up his book, The Bigger Bang. Like I said, I tried to go for stuff that I normally wouldn't pick up. This was by IDW. It's very Sam Keith type art, and I wanted to give that one a shout out because it's also about a superhero that once he's born, an entire universe dies, and it's him trying to deal with that. What else? And then the other cool thing I picked up was this little ash can I thought was really cool, called No Gods, No Dungeon Masters. And it's just a little tiny short story, but it's got a little bit more in depth to it. I really wanted to give that thing a little bit of a shout out. This looked really fun. Again, not my sort of thing. Really wanted to challenge myself. And then the book that I started reading that I kind of accidentally came across is by this just gentleman by the name of Jeremy A. Bastian. And he's at this book. I love it so much. It's called The Cursed Pirate Girl. And what caught me was some of his proof art that he was doing. And this art is absolutely beautiful. I'm trying to show you. I know you guys can see this. He does all ink drawings with like felt pen. And the art is absolutely gorgeous in the way that I have to read a page 2 or 3 times because I keep getting lost in the art. And it's a pirate girl on an adventure, but it's also very Alice in Wonderland themed and like a lot of old fairy tales. I fell in love with this thing. This is the first chapter. Boom Studios is actually going to put out the other 2. I love this art. I love this art. I'm in love with this book. Something I normally wouldn't do. And also he very patiently and very sweetly drew a sketch that looks just like it belongs in the book. I know you guys are watching the chat right now. I don't want to deal with it. But I really want to give a shout out to this thing. It's called Kirk's Pirate Girl. I'm absolutely in love with it. It's really sweet and tender, and it kind of reminds me of like some of the stories I would read when I was a kid. Please go check that out. I was in love with it.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. WonderCon, go.
WonderCon, go. I almost went, but I was tardy.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
We won't talk about it. I wish you guys were there.
Me too.
Yeah. So, San Diego Comic-Con is next. Then after that, it's the Stanley Comic-Con. And we got to figure out something. Whatever, guys.
Whatever, guys.
Savanna just quiet. Be like, sorry, we're sorry.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, let's talk about fucking Aquaman, Sean.
Sean Chippy.
Do you have Aquaman up?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Guys, take it.
Go, Ian.
No, you go first. I think that Sean would like to hear what you thought about this book first, and then I'll go.
Pretty sure.
So, the issue with this book and Aquaman is I read most of it, what I could digitally, and I just got this in the mail today because I didn't go get my mail.
Right.
So I only read the first one.
I read the entire stupid fucking first arc.
Wait, you only read the first issue?
Yeah, I just got it today.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Well, we're gonna spoil this shit for you
because I was working all weekend. It was sitting in my mailbox.
Kirk, I want to take the conversation for my part as to how I feel about Aquaman overall after reading this. So if you can kind of like present this, set up the story and talk about it, I'll talk about like how I feel about Aquaman after this, because this was my first.
You guys can go ahead and do the whole thing. Like, you're not gonna spoil it. I'm gonna sit down and read it because I started it. I'm gonna fucking finish it because now.
Okay, so
it's really good.
Basically, this is volume 1. This is the new series that was started. It's written by Dan Abnett. Art is by Scott Eaton, Brad Walker, and Felipe Bryans. I'm going to screw that name up. I'm so sorry. This is the Aquaman Rebirth. This is issue 1, starting from the new Rebirth thing that DC decided to do. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that not a lot of people are Aquaman fans. After reading this, I really love the take that Dan Abnett had with Aquaman, and he does a really great thing with this book about how he talks about how people perceive Aquaman. I'm not going to go too far into it because I want Ian to talk about that later. And then also there's this really great moment when you start to realize that Aquaman understands how people perceive him. That part of the book alone and how it was handled was maybe one of the coolest things I did not expect to read out of this thing. It sets up where Arthur is his real name. A lot of people don't know that. Arthur is the king of Atlantis and king of his people. And by the way, the earth is mostly covered in ocean. So he really does feel and take on the pressure and responsibility of basically being the king of all of it and trying to make the best choices for his people. At the same time, he comes from both worlds because he's half human and half Atlantean. So a lot of what he feels like his duty is to try to unite landwalkers, land dwellers, and the people of Atlantia, because relationships between the two of them are not good, especially with all the war that has been waged in the oceans. Major cities have taken huge hits in the DC universe. Like Gotham got flooded, Metropolis got flooded. They talk about this in the comic book. And so even though everyone knows Aquaman is part of the Justice League, no one really cares for him and actually kind of feel like he doesn't belong with the Justice League. And he is very much viewed a public nuisance and a public enemy in the eyes of the world. That said and done, again, Arthur is very self-aware of all of this and the pressures that he feels and takes on and talks about in this comic book is very palpable and felt by the reader. And at one point, I really was just kind of rooting for him and feeling like he can never get a break throughout this series. I'm going to probably continue reading this. I did not expect this to be this good. Mm-hmm. Guys, what'd you think?
So I guess I'll go next.
Yeah, please.
So Sean has been trying to push this comic on me for a while. He finally sent it to me as a gift. I really appreciate it. This is my first time experiencing Aquaman. I love. One of the things that you mentioned is that this comic book is very self-aware as to how Aquaman is perceived in the real world and within its own world.
Yes.
He, to me, I didn't realize how I was going to feel about this, because I did not think that I was going to be able to relate to Aquaman. It's really hard for me to relate to anybody in the DC universe, and just like his struggles and everything, that all the pressure that he has on himself, all of, and he takes a lot on, and he is super resilient. And I saved some quotes actually from the actual book. Black Manta says, those of the surface see him as a punchline or a menace, which I can relate to. As a minority, I know how that feels, and I understand Aquaman at that level. We came to an understanding very early on, because the very first issue, I guess you could call, it's just there's a narrator who just goes through how Aquaman is perceived in the world, and it's just so good. This book is so good. Like, I'm like speechless. I found a lot of things beautiful about it. His backstory, his relationship with Mara is incredibly beautiful. That's something that I wish I could find in the real world. Mm-hmm. That's something that Sean really did mention, is that the relationship between those two is just something that, hashtag goals, I guess you could say. And there's one thing that almost had me in tears. Like, Aquaman and Mara are in his favorite restaurant, where he goes to get, grounded, no pun intended. And Mara goes, Aquaman goes, Mara, sometimes I see that you tolerate the surface just for me, the food, this place, dry land. And she goes, Arthur, you ask for nothing of me. I give what is in my heart to give. My only fear is that you ask too much of yourself. And she's just, the relationship between them two is just so supportive and loving, and I just couldn't get enough of it. I feel like, to me, that the relationship between those two is why I read this, is why I finished it.
Yeah.
And over the weekend, so I don't know, and just the overall, like, the political things going on, the fact that the land and the ocean can't seem to get along, and Aquaman struggles with that. Like, Mara even says, you are a man of two worlds, and you want them to unite. Until they do, you are not whole. And he's always going to be dealing with that, Whether he'll ever be able to achieve unity is yet to be determined. Mm-hmm. But if the real world is any indication, I don't think that will ever happen.
Right.
The chat hates his costume.
Everyone hates his costume. You have to see past it, though.
That's what I mean. My whole thing with the costume is that's the costume that he was originally designed with. And
what's wrong with the costume exactly?
He looks like he belongs in water. I mean, he kind of looks like Thing, but...
But he is Aquaman, though.
Yeah, he's Aquaman. I don't mind his costume. I think that this book has a lot of what I bitch about Marvel needs. It's one story, one character. This is, when I think about an Aquaman book, this is what I imagine that it's like. Mm-hmm. So it, like, falls right into my expectations, what I've read so far.
I cannot imagine what I got.
And it... Like, honestly, what's coming out in the movie, the Aquaman, that is not the Aquaman that I see in my head. This is the Aquaman I see in my head. And I like the way the book looks. I like the art, and it's...
Oh, I love the art.
It's such a, like, classic comic book feel. Like, it's very enjoyable to read.
Right. I also thought, like I said, I think this book, on the surface just looked... Yeah, dude, like, on the surface, this just looks like a plain superhero comic book, but when you, like Ian was talking about, like, the comic is very self-aware, and especially the idea that the story is taking place in a time when he's trying to set up an embassy on land to better relations between his people and, and humans. Like, there's a terrorist attack, and it's the perfect opportunity for like a terrorist, and it's Black Manta in this comic, to really, that's a very real world situation.
It
is. And when I read that, I was like, oh, fuck, dude. Like, this was a really brave choice to do in this comic book, especially considering that, like, the DC Rebirth rebranding has been like, things are more hopeful now. Like, I was like, bravo. And the way they handle it, and that becomes, like, the centerpiece of the story, was fucking gnarly.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I like Aquaman.
If you're not convinced yet, at the very end when things are just, when it just, like, shit hits the fan, I love this part where it's between Superman and Aquaman, and Superman goes, "You can't leave," and then Aquaman goes, "I can't leave? I'm a fucking king, bitch," and just, like, he just, like, slams fucking Superman. Look at that shit. Oh,
dude,
wait,
I was all about that. I'm sorry, but it was kind of badass to watch Aquaman lay the smack down on fucking Supes. It really was.
Oh my god, that was so unexpected. When I flipped the page, I was like, oh shit. Like, he goes, "I can't leave? Fuck you." Like, that was so good. It just had everything. It had interpersonal relationships, it had politics, it had a great story, it had action, great art. Like, it just had everything that I look for. And now I know why people are shitting themselves over Rebirth. DC is where it's at right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely exactly how it should be. It's just right.
Here's the other cool thing, because a lot of people are kind of rolling. I'll talk from my experience. I was rolling my eyes when Superman finally shows up, and it felt like a very Deus Ex Machina like type of thing. Like, all of a sudden, the God in the box shows up, and Superman's gonna fix everything. And I love the fact that the comic's like, nope, fuck you. This is Aquaman's story. And sorry, Clark, but you're just in the way.
Yeah.
And I love that it's like, nah, that's not going to be the story trope that we're going to kind of rest our laurels on in this story. Like, you bringing Superman into this comic was not just to sell comics because Superman showed up. It was Superman
to prove a point.
Yes, absolutely. Fucking absolutely.
Like, this comic, like, if you think that Aquaman is just a merman, like, you're so wrong. Pick this up. Like, it's a great introduction to the character. It has every kind of aspect. Like, if you don't enjoy one thing, there are, like, 10 other things that you'll love.
Yeah. And I like that it really sets the record straight for Arthur. Like, no, he doesn't talk to fishes. He just can motivate them and control them and give them impulses.
Exactly.
Like, I like that they really went over, like, his power set. And, yeah, dude, he is on the level of the pantheon of... It
disproves rumors. It disproves rumors. It really shows Aquaman for who he really is. He's not this joke. He's a man with real problems and a lot of pressure, and he's badass, and he should be respected. He's a very legitimate part of the Justice League, and, like, it just had everything that I was just not expecting this from DC. It's making me want to read everything by DC. Just drop everything and focus on DC for a while.
Dude, Ian, I honestly feel like I've been really reluctant to try out all the new DC titles because I got so burned with the New 52. I spent so much money on the New 52 just to be constantly let down on a regular basis. So far, and I think you can agree with me, every time someone has suggested a Rebirth DC title that we've picked up, I'm having a hard time finding problems. Like, I've been thoroughly impressed with every DC title that we've picked up and talked about.
Me too. It was a year ago. It was
they even fixed Batman.
Yeah.
I have to read Batman now. I mean, if Superman is doing amazing and Aquaman is doing great, Super Sons, Teen Titans, I can only imagine how Batman's doing. I need to pick that shit up. And
Dude,
I need.
I'm still reading. Yeah, I'm still reading Green Arrow. Green Arrow's been awesome. I can't believe I'm saying this. Red Hood and the Outlaws has been a great title, and I was hate reading that for years. Like
Hate. I love that.
I was hate reading it, dude. It's like fuck. He's a no Jason Todd. He's a know how to write this character. Whatever. I've been all about this. I'm all in. I'm probably going to keep reading Aquaman.
I mean, it was a year ago. My only DC title was Scooby Apocalypse. Now I have 5 solid DC titles in my pool list. Like, if you would have told me that was going to happen in the future, I would have laughed in your face. I would have been like, never, never, ever. And
yeah,
I understand. I understand the hype. The hype is real.
Yeah, the hype is so real. I'm very, very scared about what bringing the Watchmen into the universe is going to be all about, what it's going to look like. But I hate to say it, like I have a feeling it might actually work. I'm going to read it. I'll pick that shit up. And can we just talk about Mara for a second? Oh my god.
Oh my god, she's such a babe.
Oh my god, she is like, if she only had a penis, I'd be in.
Dude, Mara, 3 out of 3 oh my gods by the YMB hosts.
I, like, every person that I ever date from now on has such high standards, like, they all need to fucking read this. I'm gonna be like, read this book, and this is what I want you to be like.
Yeah. We have to be supportive until you have to step in and let me know I'm being bullshit. Oh, yeah, I was so all about it. I know and again, this was my fault. I did not announce the book this week, so not a lot of people besides Sean read this. But the chat is really talking about the fact that, like, this author does not write bad books. A lot of people are kind of really impressed with this story. Everyone still hates the costume. I'm really sorry about that. I did not design the costume, but man, oh man, if the story is this good and you can look past the costume,
well, do you think that you have a problem, that people have problems with the costume because this book was mostly set on land instead of in the water?
I think
hated it.
I think a lot of people just avoid it because it's Aquaman, and the comic book directly addresses that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really comment on the costume because this is my first experience with him, so
right.
I didn't mind it. I didn't think it was bad. If that means anything.
No, in fact, I like that they give it like that kind of like that texture, like that kind of ocean rock reef texture to the top of his shirt. Yeah. I really dug that.
Mike was like, is it scales? Is it pebbles? Like, what the fuck? Mike really hates it. And, like, the people that read it,
why would it be pebbles, though? Why would it be pebbles, though? It's obviously scales. Like little
rocks. I don't know. It's because it's changed so much over time.
Yeah, because they've tried a lot of different things with him. Like, and a lot of what they tried to do. It looks
like crocodile skin.
Yeah. Like, a lot of what they tried to do to sell Aquaman to the fans was always constantly changing up his costume. At one point, they cut off his hand, and then he got an enchanted hand, and then he grew his beard out. They tried a bunch of things, but they never actually focused on the character like this series does, and this is fucking awesome.
So nobody has an issue with Mara's costume, then?
No, I like Mara's costume.
I like Mara's costume.
I like that they match. That's fucking... Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's hard, but, like, this when they introduce these guys to the embassy, I'm going to try to show up that picture, because I know I've got digital. But, like, that's badass. Just the two of them strolling in, like, by the way.
We're here to fuck it up.
Yeah. And I like that every time they pass by, like, every human is like, oh my god. Like, just kind of sitting in awe of them. I love it. Such a great comic book. I did not expect this.
I did not either. It was such a pleasant surprise, and I hate to admit it, but Sean was right, and if he's reading this, there's a lot more to you, Sean, than I didn't think there was.
Hey, I know that I'm going to read the Annihilation series because of Sean.
Oh, Annihilation is great. Yeah, I vouch for that too.
I'm still going to go toe-to-toe with him about when Bendis is and is not a good writer. Personally, but guys, go pick up Aquaman. Holy fuck! I know.
I just
Guys,
never
go buy
thought.
this.
I
Damn it,
I
Sean.
just never thought that Aquaman would be capable of this level of storytelling. I was the asshole who thought he was just a merman who talked to fish. I was the asshole they talk about in this.
I'm a big asshole.
Giant asshole.
Big asshole.
Big asshole.
Thank you, Sean. I really do appreciate it. I love this. I know I kept telling him that I hated it, even though I really didn't.
Even though I secretly loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
I was gonna wait till the show to be like, I love it.
It's so fucking good. I'm gonna continue reading this. And I highly suggest this. This comes with all the suggestions, guys. I hope you pick it up. So that's pretty much the comic books. Truth be told, I'm gonna have to go to Twitter later and see how badly Sean is trolling me right now because my alert's going crazy with him. But
he's got his own hashtag already, my friend.
Yeah, dude. Can we wrap this up with some movie talk really quickly?
Sure.
Yeah, girl.
All right, so it was kind of announced, and we're still waiting for the official on it, but it's looking like Joss Whedon is totally going to direct a Batgirl film for Warner Brothers DC Comics. This is very interesting. I'm a Joss Whedon fanboy. I need to be absolutely transparent about that right now.
Mm-hmm. I am biased.
I am totally biased. That said, and the setup for this is so great because I've always heard Joss say that he wanted a hand at trying to write Batman because he always feels like Batman was a Marvel character stuck in the DC universe. So I feel like this is a very convenient thing where DC went to him and said, hey, by the way, you want a Batgirl story because you write kick-ass chicks and you've always wanted a hand at Batman? So I get that. I get why he went towards this. I'm also noticing that a lot of the internet's not necessarily happy about it because they really wanted a female director for Batgirl.
Why does it matter?
What are your feelings on this, guys?
Why does it matter what the sex of the person directing the movie is? Because it's a female character? Why the fuck does that matter?
I mean, personally, I think Joss writes really great female characters. He's made it like a huge part of his career. I mean, there probably just wasn't anyone better. Like they have processes when they select these things. I think that people need to chill the fuck out. Yeah,
honestly.
Like I think you have to kind of think of, well, did you want fucking Zack Snyder doing a Batgirl film?
No.
It would be. It's not, they understand what fans want. I feel. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. So many Batman was not good. So
yeah, I just I'm so torn by this because my first reaction was, holy shit, this is amazing, and then my next initial thought on this was that Joss, towards the end of his tenure with Marvel, was pretty vocal about how unhappy he was with the making process of doing Age of Ultron, and he really kind of was like, I don't think it was that good of a film because they wouldn't listen to me, and they kind of took control away from him.
Yeah,
so I'm so curious.
Was it directed by him or was it directed by the studio?
Yeah, I really feel like Ultron was directed more by the studios.
Fucking retarded.
But Warner Brothers cannot keep directors for their films right now. The Flash has lost how many directors? Zack Snyder.
That's what I mean. They're not letting them direct it. They're just using their name as a selling point, cutting all of the actual work that they do to make it unique to themselves. And then essentially the studios are still directing and producing and making their own movie. Like they need to either let it be art or make their own movies. Just skip the whole part.
So why is leaving Marvel to do a DC film going to be any better of a working experience for Joss Whedon? Like, I'm really curious. I need to know. I have so many fucking questions, and none of them are going to be answered until the damn movie comes out. And it's I'm really excited for a Batgirl movie. I like the fact that I think it's really funny that WB knows that they've got a failed franchise on their hands, so they're trying to spin off a Bat Family centric, universe with this and the announcement of a Nightwing movie. And I like Joss. What was the deal they gave this guy? What's the deal? Does he have final cut? Does he get to have final say? I need to know.
Full control.
Full control. I agree. I think that's what was promised to him.
Right. We still haven't.
And with a movie like Batgirl, I feel like the studios would be comfortable enough to give them that deal. Say, look, we can't give you Batman, but here's Batgirl. Knock your socks off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I genuinely understand that people wanted a female director for that. I personally want to see more women making films.
If it wasn't Joss Whedon, I'd probably
Right?
agree. But it's Joss Whedon, man. Like I've read his Marvel stuff. Like I've seen his TV shows. Like I've been following this fucker forever. I met him outside of Macy's here in Santa Barbara. Like I love this guy. Yes.
Dude, like I mean, I grew up watching Buffy. Like
yes, me too.
Maybe that's why that's the type of woman I'm attracted to. Like I like strong, independent ass kickers. Like
yeah, girl.
That's what I grew up with. That's what I want. Every time Joss writes something, like he wrote Kitty Pryde to be an awesome badass in the Astonishing X-Men series.
Astonishing X-Men. I read that entire story in one train ride to San Diego. Like,
yes,
I fucking love Joss. Like, I cannot wait for this Batgirl movie.
The chat is like, there's some pretty good things here. Like,
what are they saying? I'm sure they hate the fact that this is being made.
Neil said that look at Alien Resurrection. He had a writing credit on that. To that, I say he also used to write for Roseanne, so you can't knock him for everything.
Hey, I love Roseanne.
So do I.
Dude, I wasn't a Bill Cosby guy. I was a Roseanne guy.
Buffy is the worst character in Buffy.
Who?
What's that?
Mike the Mutant said Buffy is the worst character in Buffy.
I will agree to an extent. She is a bitch, but she is under a lot of pressure.
She is a bitch.
Yes. Dude, so little known fact, it was let out like years and years and years ago that at one point Joss said, I wish we had just called the show The Slayer because he wanted to write out Sarah Michelle Gellar. Why do you think they kept killing her in that series so many times? Buffy died twice in that series, guys. Just so you know.
Wait, what? Twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, twice.
Buffy died twice in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But you see, some Ox said, look at Firefly. The females are just as strong, if not more than the males.
Love Firefly.
Yeah, Roseanne, Mustache Gaming, which, by the way, you've been following us forever. Thank you, dude. He says, Roseanne, 10 out of 10. We'll watch again. Mm-hmm. Here are some really good ones in here. Why are we getting a Batgirl right now, though? Mike Mutant says it's too soon. Comic Quest is saying, hey, doesn't DC already have 7 or 8 movies scheduled ahead of this? They do. I don't know where we're going to see them.
85 scheduled that keep rescheduling and not happening and rescheduling and turning into TV shows and then switching order and then failing and then whatever Marvel fucking does for fun. They're just fucking with us. They're playing with our emotions.
Dude, Mike the Mutant also says that he should have written The Flash. The Flash is pretty much a Joss character come to life. I would kind of agree with that. Yeah, dude, on top of that, this is a really good point because Ox just brought this up. Dude, Joss knows how to write team dynamics really fucking well. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping it's a Batgirl movie, but they're supposed to also introduce the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie, and they're also supposed to introduce all these other films that I really genuinely hope get made ahead of this so that they've got something to work with.
Let me throw something at you that Sean brought up earlier today. I talk to that guy all the time now. Seriously,
what he has to say about this.
On my walk home from work, I called him. That is how crazy this is getting. But he said that what if it wasn't a Batgirl movie, but a Nightwing and Batgirl team up movie?
They're gonna put Nightwing in it. If they get Nightwing out ahead on schedule, they'll put Nightwing in it.
So you're saying that Nightwing will make a cameo, will be in the Batgirl movie?
Like I said, I think this is the beginning of a whole separate Bat franchise that they're trying to spin out of the failure that is the DC cinematic.
Yeah.
I think they kind of looked at Batman and said, "People, we can put out 5 Bat titles a month and people will buy it." So, and so everyone wants Batman films.
Has there ever been a good DC movie in your opinion?
Dark Knight. Dark Knight's almost perfect.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Dark Knight's almost perfect. Babe, we won't even talk about Green Lantern.
It didn't. There was a Green Lantern movie? No.
No. There was no. Everyone wants to know how many Nightwing butt shots will there be? A lot.
I hope
11,074,000.
Okay.
Actually, the movie poster's just going to be Dick Grayson's butt.
I hope so. God, that would be the biggest, like...
It's just going to be Nightwing. It's just going to say Nightwing. And it's just going to be his latex butt. And he says, you know you wanted it. Coming soon. Like, I mean, you just...
They need to get the butt right. And I'm not even joking. I am honest to God saying this. They need to get the butt right. Who cares what Nightwing looks like as long as that actor's butt is just right. You know?
That's going to be part of the casting, man. You know what? That's fucking good. Because considering how badly women get sexualized in the movie industry, and, like, they have to look for certain requirements, maybe it's a good thing that it's going to be a dude. They're going to be like, well, you've got the chops, but we're going to have to ask you to drop trow and turn around for a second.
God, what I would do to be in that casting call. What I would do to be a casting director for that casting call.
Sign me right up for that. I'm a professional.
Yeah. Oh. Savannah and I should do it.
We're requesting that Savanna be in the casting room for all of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Take me, cheerleader. Just take me.
I will say this. I think DCU, and I think someone else mentioned it in the chat, so we want to mention it. I definitely think that the CW shows have nailed the DC universe, and that's what the movies are trying to lean more towards. I also genuinely love maybe 85% of the DC animated films. Those have been really fucking good, except for that Killing Joke movie that I walked out of. But, so bad. Guys, Barbara Gordon did not fuck Bruce Wayne. That's just wrong.
That's just wrong. I watched it on an airplane, and there was a kid sitting next to me. I turned that shit off.
You had to. It's not.
I was like, oh god, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, but their I think their Suicide Squad movie was like it should have been an R-rated animated film. I thought it was great. But yeah, I have so many questions. Bring Joss into the DCU. And I know a lot of it is Jeff Johns trying to kind of bring that hopefulness and what they've done with Rebirth back into the films. But is it too little, too late? Like, is Joss going to have creative control? I have so many questions.
Cautiously optimistic we are.
Will Roseanne make a cameo? Roseanne make a cameo. That's all I got.
She should
I
be
ranted.
the villain.
Sorry. I wanted to rant a lot tonight. So, do we have anything else to talk about tonight? Or do we need to let Savannah get to her cereal?
No, just make sure to mention that we have Steven coming on next Monday.
Steven, what's his username?
Smiley Ogre. Smiling Ogre.
Cool.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you want to know how you get on the show, because we do let people come on and pick the book and be the fourth guest some weeks, go hit the Discord chat.
At your own risk. There's a disclaimer real quick. The Discord chat is open fucking field. So if you have strong opinions and you don't want me to consider you a fucking asshole, you need to watch your fucking mouth in the chat. Right now. Because, like, we will boot you immediately.
Yeah. But if you're a jerk, if you're homophobic, racist, sexist, or any of that stuff that we are not looking for in this totally inclusive community that we're trying to build here, no place for you. If you want to freak the fuck out about how awesome comic books are and the storytelling, and not to mention one of the greatest collaborative art forms on the face of the earth that is graphic novels and comics, get the fuck into that chat right now, 24/7. You guys can talk anytime. We've got different channels for spoilers, the big two, indie comics, image comics, music, subscriptions. If you're a creator, get in there and pimp your shit out. If you do other comic book shows, I've invited other people in there. Pimp your fucking show out. Fucking do it, guys. What the fuck? God, I'm so happy to have you guys here. You understand.
He's excited.
Did I get it? Did I get it all? Did I get it all?
We're good.
All right. And if you missed the episode, don't worry if you weren't here live. All the old episodes get archived over onto the YouTube channel. So if you missed this, you're just finding this for the first time on YouTube, go hit that little clickety-click. Go check out the older episodes. Leave comments down below. I want to hear what this is because this whole thing is about you guys getting involved too. It's a big thing. And just hit anybody up in the chat, and we'll get you the invite into the Discord.
And if you want to come on and have a debate with another member of the community, let me know. Schedule a time with me. I will do my best to be available. I've already hosted a couple debates between different people in the community, and they've been great. You can check.
They have been awesome.
they've been archived, so check those out on Kirk's YouTube channel and the Discord. But if you just want to do it, talk to me. I will get that scheduled, and I'll host you.
Yeah. That'll be fucking badass. Guys, let everyone know, where can they find you on the internets?
On Twitter, I'm Hydro_Honey, Galactus Hungers, Galactus_Hungers, Force Girls, and make sure you like and follow, subscribe, all that shit.
Yeah. Ian, go for it. Where can everyone find you?
Ian Alexander on everything with the exception of Facebook, but I'm most interested in you joining the Discord chat. The link is down below, or you can find me on Twitter and I will send that invite right away. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at Kirk Like Stuff on Twitter. I think my Instagram is at Kirk_FM. And I have a Facebook, but don't bother me over there because I don't ever talk comic books over there because everyone on my Facebook's really lame. Except for some of you that have found me over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys, I'm really excited. So next week, our friend Steve is coming on. And we're actually going to talk Afterlife with Archie. And we've actually done that book before.
Kirk, he changed his mind. Afterlife with Archie was his original pick, but because he introduced me to the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and I also sold Savanna on that comic, he wants to do that book instead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the Sabrina book next week, and then 2 weeks from now we'll do Space Riders, the first volume by Black Mask. Holy shit, we got the next 2 weeks figured out.
Yay!
Okay. Thank God. Guys,
we're growing up, guys.
Oh, this is good. Also, by the way, I really want to kind of give a shout out to everyone. I know you guys weren't in the chat tonight, but I see you guys watching the show right now. At one point, we were at 35 live viewers. Right now, we're at 25. Thank you for finding us. This is what we do every Monday night, about 8:30, 8 p.m.-ish Pacific time here on the Twitch. And guys, please, 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 we're trying just to grow a community. That's what we're fucking trying to do. This is the golden age of comic books right now. And we just want to try to get more people to read some of the gems and other titles out there, and then come back and do this. Because we really are just a nerdy book club at this point. That's all we are. You can't hate that. Love us. Love the comic books. Look at these faces. Love us.
We're fucking precious, okay?
We're adorable as shit.
We're adorable as ever.
We're fucking gorgeous.
We're fucking gorgeous.
So as we're signing out, I also want to give big ups right now, once again, to our moderators, Ox, to your Ronan Jonathan, and to Neil. We're calling him Neil, Hydra Neil now. Is that what we're doing? Big ups to those guys for supporting the show and being our moderators. Also, nothing but lots of love to producer Ian. Ian is kind of one of the main reasons why this is even a thing in the first place. And I really have just kind of given the reins over to Ian and his ideas, and he's been making this happen week after week. He's doing such a fucking awesome job with this, and he's just growing this shit up so amazingly. So, yeah, guys, I'm really excited for what the next year is going to bring for us, and this is working out really well, and we'll see you over on YouTube. Leave comments down below on the episode. And, guys, also in the chats and in the comments down below, leave your Twitter handles so you can find everybody else and get them into the fucking Discord chat. Yes. Alrighty?
And pressure Savanna to stream. Tell her to stream.
I'm going to stream how I make peanut butter sandwiches and do cooking things.
I like that.
Not really. I'm just... Oh, actually, you know what I could start streaming is fucking Breath of the Wild. I got to figure out how to do that.
Okay, do you realize that I am a huge Legend of Zelda superfan? And when you said that, when you told me that, I fangirled so badly. Like the idea of you streaming...
It has consumed me.
It's a huge fucking game.
Is that the Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
Wow, I gotta fucking do that.
Sexual experience.
Heyo.
Okay. Yeah.
Goodbye, guys.
Alrighty.
Alright. Sorry, guys. Love you.